Okay. Hi, my name is Erinn Morgan. I am the editor-in-chief of Eyecare Business Magazine, and I am very fortunate to be here today with George Blankenship, who is he was the keynote speaker here at the Vision Council Executive Summit. We're here in Orlando, Florida today at the summit, and George just gave a fantastic keynote, and that was amazing, and I think it's great that we're able to talk to him and digest a little bit of that as well. And so George is a former executive at Tesla and Apple, and he has some great retailing insight, which he just shared with the audience.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, absolutely, my pleasure.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And I have just a couple of quick questions for George. And I wanted to tie in that retail idea. So in your unique view, how would you describe today's retail landscape? What are we experiencing in the retail world?
I think there's a couple things happening. One is I think there's still a consolidation where, maybe too much retail space is built and it's consolidating.
Right.
That generates a lot of, pretty negative headlines and stuff like that.
Sure.
I think retail is actually still really strong, and I think it's going to get better and better as more close and consolidation is done. Because what will happen is, as the ones that maybe shouldn't have been built in the first place go away, the ones that should have been built and will survive are actually going to thrive.
Right.
They're going to be better. They're going to be better for the consumer. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to become more complete lifestyle, or kind of complete lifestyle focused.
Right.
Where for a long time it was like just clothes and shoes.
Sure.
Then you had a food court.
Sure.
And then from there, they went to sort of theaters and they went to food. And I think what's going to happen over the next 10 years or so is you're going to see this whole sort of town square where everything is going to be there, whether it's your doctor, your dentist, it's going to be food, it's going to be a bookstore, it's going to be the theater, it's going to be the soda shop again. And it's going to have clothes and shoes, but it's not going to be dominated by that. It's going to be more of that 50-year-ago town square where people go and enjoy being there.
Right.
And so I think that's where it's going.
Yeah, because today it doesn't feel like there's a lot of that going on in retail, where you can kind of go and enjoy it and have that experiential.
And I think another thing that's happening, if you watch it, is there's a lot of online retailers out there who started up as online, who are now opening brick and mortar stores, whether it's Amazon, whether you Warby Parker in your industry, exactly. But then you've also got Casper, and you've got other companies. And actually, one I found to be really, really interesting is Shopify, whose entire company is focused on helping companies do online business, actually open a brick and mortar store in LA. So I think you're seeing, service, B2B, and online retailers who realize they have to have that direct customer connection.
Yes.
Opening retail stores.
Have that experience.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, that was one of my questions, is kind of what will that retail landscape look like in 10 years? So that's what you envision. Kind of every town or city would have centers like that, where people are actually going to go.
Yeah, if you went back 50 years ago, what happened is where people shopped was downtown. They shopped Main Street, and down there it had everything. It had the soda shop, it had the theater, it had all that stuff, and then along came the mall. It was always built out in the suburbs. Right. And what happened is they sort of drew a lot of the traffic away from Main Street, and a lot of Main Streets went away.
Right.
But now what the malls are realizing and the big shopping streets are realizing is that people are looking for everything when they get there. And the more they can do while they're there, the longer they stay. And the longer they stay, the better it is. And the better it is, the more they enjoy it. And so what happens is there needs to go back to the shopping centers that sort of destroyed Main Street.
Right.
Have now got to go back to being Main Street because it makes sense for people, and that's what people want. Is they want to be able to go there and enjoy, spend time, and have an experience.
Totally.
And I think that's the way it's going to go.
I love that. And I live in a small town in Colorado, and it's kind of a mountain town, but it has that old Main Street. It was the old Main Street, but it is packed all the time. Is that Boulder? I live in Durango, Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But and Boulder's the same way. You have that, exactly. So that Main Street experience, and it's packed there all the time.
We actually had a store there at Tesla one time.
Oh, really?
One of my favorite stories was a guy went out to get 2 slices of pizza and went home with a Tesla. And that was in Boulder. It was great.
I can see how it could happen, right?
So think about it. There's somebody who went to get pizza in a Main Street type of environment where there was an auto store.
And it could happen with eyewear too.
It could
walk into
it should happen with eyewear. And the reason why is because eyewear is something that people do when they think they need to.
Right.
And there's like something physically inside them that's triggering them to go do it.
Right.
What I think needs to happen is people need to start thinking of their eyewear as just part of their lifestyle. And if eyewear stores are somewhere that people frequent on a regular basis, they're more likely to stop in. And if the staff inside the store is gearing them to say, hey, doesn't stop by any time, I'll check and make sure it's fitting right, make sure that everything's tight and everything like that, and we'll make sure you're not scratching it, we'll check all this out. And make it part of, I mean, my wife buys jewelry. She walks into a jewelry store, what's the first thing they do? They say, hey, can we clean your rings and stuff like that? I think the vision world is so important because, as you get older, you sort of wish maybe you'd done something different when you were 20 and 30.
Right? For sure.
But you don't realize that until you're older.
Exactly.
What if it became part of your lifestyle?
Yes.
What if it was something you thought about your whole life? Things might be a lot better when you're 65, 75, and 85.
Exactly.
And I think that's why vision care has to be part of a person's lifestyle. I think that's what your industry is.
So the education of the consumer is the key then to that from that younger age.
It's not so much the education, it's the interaction.
In the actual physical location.
Making them feel comfortable interacting with their vision on a regular basis.
And not just going
it's not just
time
trying to teach. Teaching can be preaching, all right? It's about inviting them to take care of their eye, take care of their eyes, and do it just as part of their everyday thing.
Right.
You brush your teeth every day.
Well,
so
we
you
live
take care of
in
your teeth.
a wellness-focused society, right? So why not make vision a part of that as well?
That's exactly right.
Well, that's cool. Well, that kind of answered another one of my questions, was just kind of how can our eye care professionals that are out there make that experience better for, be part of the retail landscape that's what's happening today, because they straddle a very unique thing because they're medical, they're doctors, but then they also offer that retail experience, and they're certainly not trained generally as retailers in medical school. So it's a tough kind of bridge to cross for sure. So that's a great tip.
Well, I think what it is I think that anything that has a sort of a hands-on with a consumer, whether it's clothes on, whether it's a car, whether it's glasses or vision, I think needs to have a personalized approach attached to it. Because an 18-year-old who comes in who needs sports glasses is a different customer than somebody who's dealing with a cataract.
Right.
Or is different than someone who's been wearing glasses and now wants to wear contacts. And it's different, and if you're trying to have the same selling motion for everybody, and you're trying to educate them and teach them, and you're trying to teach them what you think is important, you're missing the boat. Because what you want to do is let them learn about them, learn about the customer, and then you can take care of them in a way that invites them to keep coming back, makes them want to come back, because you're listening to them, you're letting them drive what's important to them, and then you're helping them achieve it.
Right.
So I think that's the key. It's about location, but when you actually start the engagement with the customer is when you really have that inflection point to be able to actually have them as a customer for a long period of time.
Right.
But have them have the advantage of having better vision for a lifetime.
Yes.
And that's sort of the difference, if that makes sense.
Yes, it absolutely makes sense. It's a great suggestion for sure for our readers. So, and my last question for you was, where do you personally like to shop? Besides, maybe that's Amazon.
I shop Amazon all the
right?
time. I'm on Amazon all the time. But the places where I do the most shopping in brick and mortar stores is where the best help is. It's to me, it's not about a brand. I mean, I'm going to Japan. I'm going to a place where it's going to be really cold, like 30 feet of snow. I'm going there to photograph snow monkeys and winter festivals and stuff. And it's going to be really, really cold. And I went to a store at a shopping place, and I went in and I wanted to buy stuff to keep me warm. And the person just had no product knowledge of what, they just really didn't understand why I was there and what. So I went to another store, and I'm going to Japan, and I'm going to be warm. Because the person who was in that store knew everything about their product, knew everything about its application, but they knew what I wanted to do because that's what they asked me. What are you doing? Where are you going? What are you going to do while you're there? Started with what I wanted to accomplish, and then outfitted me to be able to go to places where 30-foot high snowbanks are, and I'm going to be crawling all over it, taking pictures. They took care of me. That's my favorite store. So my store is all about the people. Artrix.
Okay.
Yeah. It was great. And
was that in California?
Yeah, it was a Stanford shopping center. And he wanted to know what I wanted to accomplish.
And then
he made sure I can do it. And I will go back there again.
Fantastic.
That's
well,
my
and that's a
favorite
great lesson as well. Just take away for a retailer, for sure.
It works for me. I'm just one. I'm a small sample size, but I think that if you let people know that you're interested in enabling them to do what they want to do,
right,
and you do it in a comfortable, casual, informative, helpful way, I think they come back again and again.
No doubt. Sounds like you're going back.
I am. I will.
How were the snow monkeys in the 30th snowbank? Oh, you're going?
I'm actually flying home tonight. Okay, to San Francisco. Get home about 9 o'clock tonight, and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning I leave for Japan for 2 weeks.
So, oh wow, that's exciting.
It's a blast. I
You
can't
need a
wait.
Facebook page so we can follow you.
And
your
Facebook for my
photos.
kids. Kids and grandkids.
Exactly,
Yeah.
no doubt.
So.
Well, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great trip. We really appreciate you joining us today, and thank you for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
I look forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Take care.
Take care.
Thanks for joining.
My pleasure.